Now, let's have an example to illustrate the concepts of the Norton's theorem. The example is to find the current through 10 ohm resistor. Recall that the Norton equivalent circuit is just a parallel combination Okay, it's just a parallel combination of the new source IN and the RN, the new internal resistance of the circuit. We solved IN and RN excluding the RL. So the RL is just equal to 10 ohm resistor. Why? Because the unknown is the current IO flowing through 10 ohms. Okay, so the first step is to solve Rn. Okay, in solving for Rn, we need to remove the RL and leave the terminals open. Then set all the independent sources, a current source, and a voltage source to 0. Then, let's draw the equivalent circuit. So the voltage source is replaced by a short circuit. Then we have here the 1 ohm resistor, then the 8 ohms, and then the RL, which is 10 ohm resistor, will be removed and leave the terminals opened. Then we'll have the 5 ohm resistor, and the current source will be replaced by an open circuit. And then we have to solve Rn at the open circuited terminals. Okay, what have you observed? We observe here that 1 ohm and the 8 ohm resistor are connected in parallel. We call it as RA. RA then is equal to 1 over 1 over 1 plus 1 over 8, or that is 0.889 ohm. Then the equivalent circuit, when we already combined the 1 and the 8 ohms, so we have here the RA. This is the open circuited terminals where we can solve for the Rn and the 5 ohms resistor. As you notice that the RA and 5 ohms are just connected in series. Therefore, the RA or the Rn is equal to RA plus 5 ohms. If we substitute the RA, then that is 5.889 ohms. So step 2, solve IN. So recall that in solving for IN is we need to remove the RL only and replace by a short circuit. And of course, all of the sources are still connected in the circuit. Okay, let's have to draw the figure. We have these 12 volts. And then 1 ohm. Okay, then we have the 8 ohms. Then the 10 ohms will be replaced by a short-circuited terminals. We remove the RL and replace it by a short circuit. And then we have the 5 and the current source. The 2 amperes. This is 5. Okay, our goal here is to solve for the IN or the current that is passing through the short-circuited terminals. Okay, now what is the direction of IN? Why is it going to the right? It's because the assumed direction of IO here is to the right. So to come up with a positive value of IN, so we need also to follow the direction of the IO. Now, since we have two independent sources here, the 12 volts and the 2 amperes, so we need to use other network laws and theorems. Since the unknown is the current through the short-circuited terminals, the best option, the best method that we can use here is the mesh analysis. So let's have the assumed loop current direction. So this is loop current I1. This is loop current I2 and loop current I3. Okay, at loop 1, so we are going to write voltage equation at loop 1. Okay, so we have 12. And in the 1 ohm resistor, when the current flows through it, we have plus minus. Then we have minus 1 times I1. And we have in terms of I1, so we still have 8 I1. And in the 8 ohm resistor, there is another current that is flowing through it. And that is loop current I2. Okay, this is minus plus. So since we are referring to the loop 1, so what we see here is the plus. Since I2 is opposing to the direction of the I1, so you have plus 8 I2. That's equal to 0. And then we will simplify. You have 12 minus 9 I1 plus 8 I2. By the way, you might ask where is now the IN. So we will have to forget temporarily IN. Anyway, IN is just equal to I2. IN is equal to I2. Why? Because the loop current that is flowing through the short-circuited terminals is I2. Therefore, I2 is just equal to IN. So our goal here is to solve for I2 so that we will have a value of IN. So let's have to call this as equation 1. So let's write voltage equation at loop 2. So in loop 2, so you have minus I2 plus all the resistances that I2 is passing through. We have 5 and the 8. So 8 and 5. And in the 8 ohm resistor, there is another current that is flowing through, and that is I1. And I1 is opposing to the direction of I2. So we have plus 8 I1. And also in the 5 ohm resistor, there is another loop current passing through aside from I2, and that is I3. And I3 is opposing the direction of I2. So you have plus 5 I3 equals 0. But at loop 3, I3 is simply equal to 2 amperes. Why? Because I3 is the only loop current that is passing through the 2 amperes, and it has the same direction with the current. So I3 is equal to 2 amperes. Then substitute. So if we have equation 2 and this is equation 3, substitute 3 in equation 2. Okay, so we have 8 plus 5, that is 13 minus 13, I3 plus I2. 13 I2 plus 8 I1 plus 5 times 2, which is the I3. equals 0. Then we'll arrange the equation. So we have 8I1 minus 13I2 equals minus 10. Okay. Then from this equation, we have to solve for I1 in terms of I2 since our goal here is to solve for I2. Okay, so we have 8I1 equals minus 10 plus 13I2. So divide both sides by 8. Okay, and we have I1 in terms of I2. So let's call this as equation 2A. Now the 2A will be then substituted to equation 1 to eliminate I1 and solve for I2. Okay, let's have to substitute 2A in equation 1. So what is our equation 1? 12 minus 9, I1 plus 8, I2 equals 0. So from equation 1, we have 12 minus 9, I1 plus 8, I2 equals 0. Then we will substitute equation 2A. What is I1? So the 2A is I1. Now we'll substitute the 2A to the equation 2. So this is 13 I2 minus 10 over 8. So let's check if that is correct. 13 I2 minus 10 over 8. Okay, correct. And then plus 8 I2 equals 0. Okay, and then to get rid of the denominator, which is the 8, so we'll multiply both sides by 8. So 8 times 12, that is 96. Then 8 here, 8 divided by 8 will be canceled. So we have 9 times 13, I2 minus 10, plus 8 times 8. So we have 64, I2, that's equal to 0. And then simplifying the equation. So let's have to distribute this inside the parentheses. So we come up with 96 minus 172 I2 minus times negative 10. So it becomes plus 90 plus 64 I2 equals 0. And then we will collect similar terms. So constants, 96 plus 19. So we have 186. And we have to add algebraically the I2. So we have here negative 172 and 64 I2. And that is 53 I2 equals 0. So then I2 is equal to 186 divided by, so we transpose the negative 53 I2 to the right, so it becomes plus, so we will divide this by plus 53. Okay, so if we solve 186 over 53, this is 3.5094 amperes. Okay, but as you can see here that the current that flows through the short-circuited terminals is IN. So then we have come up with the value of IN, which is equal to I2. Then IN is equal to I2, which is 3.5094 amperes. Okay, then, so we have to draw the Norton equivalent circuit. So we have here IN and the RN. And we will connect back to the circuit, the RL. How much is the RL? RL is 10 ohms. So we have RL equals 10 ohms. Okay, so the unknown is the current through the 10 ohms, and that is IO. So solving for IO, that's just equal to, we will be using current division method to solve for IO. So in solving for IO, since it is the current through RL, the numerator will be the opposite branch, which is the RN, divided by the sum of the two resistors connected in parallel times the input current, which is IN. If we substitute then, RN is 5.889. 5.889 divided by 5.889 plus 10 times the IN of 3.5094 amperes. Okay, if we solve it, the IO, or that is the IL, the current through the load, is equal to 1.301 amperes.